Hey, Shalawam, Shalawam. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, and glory be to the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Barak. Those are the true names of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yahawah is the Father's true name. That means He is, He exists. Yahawashi is the Son's true name. That means He saves, He delivers. And Barak is how you say a spirit that's holy, a spirit that's set apart. This is all in the Paleo Hebrew, the Lashawan Kodash, the holy language, the holy tongue, which we speak when we call upon our power, give reverence and honor to our power, man. Okay, it's important that you say the true names and not these false names the colonizer has given you. Okay, second of all, double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, which rule well and teach well in sincerity, taught us this truth. Shalawam, Shalawam. To the Lord's hopeful elect, 144,000 men, women, and children, maintaining themselves, keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes to the best of their ability. It's your brother Yerami Kazak back with hopefully another edifying lesson through the spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Barak. This lesson will be entitled Distractions, Reactions, and Actions. Okay? Distractions, reactions, and actions. Now, you're always gonna have individuals out here that's running their mouth, for filthy lucre's sake, trying to get some attention. Okay, there's nothing more than that. Attention, seekers. Okay, and let's take it to the etymology real quick and get a certain word, because that's what these individuals are, man. All right, when we pull it up. Right here. Queen. All right? Queen. And this is what a lot of our women don't understand when they call themselves queens. Okay? You are what? A woman, a low-born woman, from Old English, queen, woman, also female serf, hussy, prostitute. All right? A public woman. You want to be a public woman. You're a queen. So that leads you. And furthermore, applying this to men, because that's what you want to be. You want to have all the attention. You want to be all in the public, and you want to be known. You want to be trendy and all on the screen and all in the camera. That's how these individuals are moving. So men and women, they're moving in that type of way, attention seeking. Failing to understand that, hey, Yahawashi told us, man, be careful when you judge. Okay? Because it's going to come right back to you, buddy. Let's go get that real quick. Okay? Because we're seeing a lot of individuals, man, run out their mouth and they shit stinks. This is Luke 6:37. Judge not, and ye shall not be judged. Condemn not, and ye shall not be condemned. Forgive, and ye shall be forgiven. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, and shaken together, and running over, shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure that you meet withal, it shall be measured to you again. So the way that you carry yourself, the way that you move, is going to be met back with you. What you put in is what you're going to get out. Okay? What you put in is what you're going to get out. All right? To this individual, Donald, I would say, brother, not to say APTTMH, but actually to give all praises, honor, and glory be to the Most High. So you want to say Cow Halalyam, and if a brother could, put it in there for him. Say Cow Halalyam, La, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. You want to get used to saying that out, and speaking in the Hebrew, all right, moving towards that. So if a brother could give this brother the proper way to spell it and, the words to say. All right. The entire phrase. Cow Halalyam La Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. All right. As a matter of fact, I'll just do it. over here. And then we'll get back to the lesson. So, K-A-L, that means all, okay? Halal, that means praise. Then you add a Y-A-M to that. That makes it praises. So all praises. And then la equals to. So you're directing it to, okay, Yahawah, the Father's name. All right. Bahasham, in the name. Okay. Yahawashi, the Son's name. Okay. 1 second. Right there. All right. So Halalyam la Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. All praises to Yahawah Bahasham in the name of Yahawashi. You know. And that right there, that rolls off the tongue far better than APTTMH. You know. And it looks better on screen, and it's the correct way and the proper way. It goes back, and you're going to find that what it's doing is you're instilling in yourself, you know, effort, okay? The brother is he's showing you how to spell it the correct way and the proper way, all right? Right here, too. You know, screenshot it, do what you got to do, etc., etc. Okay? But yeah, I'm going to keep it going. But it's showing you and it's working on your sincerity. And that's what these individuals do not have, man. Because they want to be queens. All right? They want to have all the attention. They want to be a public woman. You're doing everything just for the appeal of men. And that's not it, bro. That's not the proper way. Look at this. Vain, worthless. That's what you queens are. Because everything you do is vain. It's empty. It's void. It's no point. It's not profitable. So you don't want to be a queen. You don't want to be a public woman. A woman, you're supposed to be in private. All right? It's like you're supposed to be tucked away, a treasure of that man that you're with. Now, if you're a woman and you have a problem doing that, then you obviously have a harlot type mindset, a prostitute type mindset. You're a queen. Okay? Because that's the society that has been pushed on you at this time. And we understand that, yeah. They pushed attention on you when that's not the old path, that's not the proper way. To certain brothers, man, we see brothers, bro, you got your wives out here all on the internet. Okay? You know, like these women, these stupid women, you see them in the gym. They talking about, you know, when I go to the gym, I wear this, I wear that. You shouldn't even be taking your ass to the gym, man. Work out at home. You don't supposed to be in the gym in the midst of all those men. You know what I'm saying? And then, furthermore, all right, do your thing. Furthermore, though, you're making videos and you're putting it all on the internet for everybody on the whole planet to see you. You know what I'm saying? And once again, man, hey, as a man, you do what you want with your wife. But the scripture states that a woman don't supposed to be out there like that. So this society has the mindset of our women and the mindset of men twisted, where you get married and you posting all the pictures up and all this shit and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. That's, man, ain't gonna be no social media like that in the kingdom, man. This vain thing that we have, that ain't gonna be it. Now that ties into the lesson because the lesson is entitled Distractions, Reactions, and Actions. It's always gonna be something every single day that's gonna irk your nerves. That's gonna vex you because that's what this world does. When you're not aligned to it, then this world is gonna automatically, it's gonna be like that. It's constantly like that. You understand? So once again, we broke down this word queen, public woman. These individuals want to be public, and you men move in this same vibration. You just do everything for the public. As a man of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, you should be what? You should be private in your real life. You should be private, man. You don't know nothing about, you're not going to see my woman and all this stuff all on the internet. All right? Even if we have an argument, you're not going to hear about it. You You understand? Because my house is in order. My woman would never get on the internet and put out my business. Okay? Or any of that. All right? Because you have to have your house in order. And you can't be shady. You got these individuals talking about, and I'm about to play a video, okay? That they trying to expose me. Well, nigga, if you not living guilty, then you shouldn't have nothing to be exposed for. But these guys are shady. They're living in the shadows. They have much stuff done in the dark that's wicked. So therefore, when it's time for them to be exposed, it's much exposing to do. Okay? Because they live wicked lives, man. Now let's get this video of this individual just to showcase what I'm speaking about, man.
Let that sink in, right? That Hassad, I'm gonna call names. Hassad, Yathar, formerly of Scray. I know you guys don't know who that is. Give a fuck who that hoe ass nigga is. Ariala. I mean, I know we've all forgotten about him. Barak. They were all a part of a conspiracy with my wife, my then wife, to expose me and facilitate her leaving the state and disappearing with my kids, who to this day now, it's June, I have not seen my children in 1 year and 3 months. I have talked to that woman 2 times since then, most recently through elder priest Zabak. And, you know, she acted as if there was going to be some resolution and I was going to be able to see my kids. And, you know, that still didn't happen. That was all the way back in December. So these guys were actively Genesis.
That's extremely strange. As you can see, what I put in the thing, why are other men in contact with your woman? You understand how strange this is, bro? These are strange people. These are messy individuals, and these are so-called leaders of these off-brand, offshoot camps that's teaching improper doctrine. They're teaching improper doctrine. The way that they maintain their household is improper. He mentioned like 5 dudes that's in contact with his woman. Okay, that's strange, bro. All right, bro. My woman's so, you know, on point. Like, hey, one of y'all like when she used to have a TikTok, cause she don't got no more. But when she used to have one, she'd tell me if somebody followed her. She'd be like, "Who is this? You know this individual? He followed me." I like, oh, that's you know, that's the new brother, whatever, you know, or whatever, etc., etc. And we peeping. You know what I'm saying? But she lets me know every single thing. Ain't nobody just gonna be contacting her. That shit is strange, man. So you supposed to keep your woman in the back. She ain't supposed to be on the forefront. Nobody's supposed to have contact with your woman like that. That's why I said social media, bro, this shit is not going to be in the kingdom, man. We're not going to be as public as we are right now. Okay? In the kingdom, it's not going to be that public, bro. You got to understand this. You're not going to know about how many wives I have. All right? You know, or none of that. The only time you may see my women is if I invite you over to the estate. If I invite you over to the crib. And then that'll be if most, you probably won't, because they're going to be doing their own thing, man. You know? All right? You ain't going to see the women at the Passover. Women are not going to come to the Passover. Okay? Oh, if we have weddings, that may be, you know, hey, brother got married, you came, you brought a gift, etc., etc. Congratulations. That's it. You know, because we can do those type of things. We can have those type of ceremonies. Yahawashi attended a wedding. There's nothing wrong with a wedding. All right? And we're going to have many weddings in the kingdom. We're going to have many weddings. Our kids are going to have many weddings. Hey, we're going to be in the mode of producing heavily. You understand? producing heavily. So that'll be pretty much the only time that you see your brother's wife, man. You know? This is not gonna be a public show. We're not gonna be queens. Running back to that word, man. Queen. Okay? A woman, a female serf, hussy, prostitute. A public woman. You know what they call them? A woman of the night. All right? A woman of the track. You know what I'm saying? A woman of the strip. Okay? A public woman. She's out there for everybody to see. She's a queen. That's why, bro, you don't call your woman a queen. You got to know the origins of these words. You're putting a vibration on her that I don't think you want on her. A woman is supposed to be a wife. A woman is supposed to be a helpmeet. She's supposed to be a princess till she becomes a wife. All right? Never queens. We never had no queens. Okay? So, let's go back to that Luke 6. And we was at 39. And he spake a parable unto them. Can the blind lead the blind? Shall they not both fall into the ditch? The disciple is not above his master, but everyone that is perfect shall be as his master. So no servant is greater than the master. You can't just branch off and leave and do your own thing. I watched majority of this video that this individual put out. Okay, you know, and individuals that's actually paying attention to the truth you know what I'm talking about. All right, this individual and this whole reaction video that he put out. All right, and he tried to paint certain narratives about the elders and paint certain narratives about him being kicked out of Great Millstone and stuff of that nature. Now, understand this, bro. When you get kicked out, that doesn't mean that you leave and go, you know, do your own thing. You can actually get brought back in. Okay? Brothers can get put on restriction where you can't do no more lessons. All right? You can't, you're not supposed to produce no videos for a time period. I know certain brothers, you know, been on suspension and, you know, et cetera, because they just wasn't moving the correct way, in the proper way. It's a certain order of doing things. All right, brother, you know, take 6 months off, work on your spirit. Because honestly, you don't really understand what's going on right now. You're not speaking the correct way, and you're saying certain things that's not right. You may not have the doctrine fully understood. So we can't have you out there bringing a blame to the ministry. You understand? So that's what happened to these individuals. Now, they couldn't serve their little punishment in time and just show better character in time. So therefore, they left, and what? They started Sakari. This is what we see with a lot of individuals. This is why you see an individual may leave Great Millstone and go to ISUPK or go to IUIC. They'll camp hop because they don't want to accept their punishment. You don't never want to hold yourself accountable for your shit that you did. So you become a shameful individual and you can't face what you did. So you go somewhere else and you never corrected your issue. So you're going to do it again, bro. You understand? This is you versus you. You got to correct your shit. All right. This right here is a man that never corrects his shit. You want to talk about everybody else, but you never addressing your pegging situation. You're never addressing why all these men are in contact with your woman and your house is not in order. Okay? You're not addressing all this worldly podcasting that you're doing. All right? All this gang banging that you're doing. Nigga, you literally went to a hood day. You literally went to a hood day with all them wicked ass gangbangers, man. And you want to get on the internet and talk about the elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone. All right? So you categorize this guy as a distraction. This is a distraction. This is Satan in this individual, of course, obviously. And he's trying to distract and lead individuals off the path. Now, it's not going to work for the elect, but all these bozos in the comments, let's go through a couple comments, man. And let's show you the mindset of his weak-ass congregation. All right? They talking about, yeah, deacon, because he's talking about deacon. He talking about, you warned us. You warned us about what? Because who is he talking about? He's talking about Great Millstone and the deacon scandal. So he grouped us into this whole deacon thing. You know, he has a grudge being held because we rebuked him and corrected him. So it's bitterness is what you're seeing is radiating from this individual, man. All right? I'm sorry about not seeing your kids. I can only imagine the feeling, man. I went 3 weeks and it broke me hard. I'm going to keep you in prayer, my brethren. Much. That may be part of your cross that you got to carry. These type of things. Now, the fact remains you should have peeped the red flags on that female. All right? And not dealt with a woman that may do such things like that. She's a wicked woman because you're a wicked man. So actually examine yourself and analyze yourself why this type of shit will happen to you, man. Okay? You know? You got to check yourself, man. All right? Me personally, bro, I didn't get married. I didn't really settle down until like 29, 30? Because I'm real choosy about women. I ain't about to just lay down with any old bitch. Because I don't trust women. And I saw my father go through baby mama drama with my mother. You understand? So I'm learning from the forefathers, man. You looking at that, I don't want my kids to ever have to go through a separated home. You understand? And that's using wisdom. So you peeping red flags and women got to have actual wife qualities, man. Okay? Don't deal with no queens, no public women. But you got to find one that has a wifely quality. And you may not find one at this time. I will be single then. Don't put yourself in a compromising position where this woman may eventually betray you, take your kids, and run away and have you looking like this individual, man. Now, you got brothers in the truth that's dealing with that right now with their women being hateful and wicked. And all they could do is pray to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. And that's what it is. All right? You know, you got to turn to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi about these things. Keeping it going. You right, Chief. The Most High ain't pleased with the community. Get some rest. But I am interested to see how he's going to move since we don't have free will anyway. At least you know that. Okay? And yeah, the Most High is not pleased with you individuals. You doing a whole lesson with a snapback on. He's not pleased with you individuals that defile and destroy the doctrine. All right? Yo, deacon, this is the individual that you was rocking with. And this is why you must rebuke your fellow brother and correct your fellow brother. All right? Let me see. It's a precept I want to get. I'll get simplicity. Don't complicate things. This is 2 Corinthians 11:3. But I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Hamashiach. Satan is once again attacking individuals and trying to lead them off through these distractions, through these podcasts, through all the wows, which is the internet, the strategies, all these different things that he can try to reach you by. You know, lust, greed, pride, envy, hate, all the emotional portals that he can try to reach you by. Okay? So he's coming at you every single day. Right? You can't fall. Don't fall. This thing is simple, man. The simplicity of Yahawashi HaMashiach. The laws are not grievous. This is not a hard thing to do and keep. Don't try to overcomplicate it and make it deep. Don't be over righteous. All right. Just listen to those that came before you. If these individuals would have listened to those that came before them, then they would have still been a part of Great Millstone. They wouldn't be on the outside making foolish videos coming at the elders. This is why you over here, boy. So he never stopped to examine why he's in this position in the first place. Why are you in this position on the outside looking in? This is how all those individuals in Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, are going to be. All right? They're finally going to understand. Let's get that, man. Okay? They're finally going to understand that they didn't have the truth, that they was in wickedness the whole time. Okay? This is Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. This is a lie. All this stuff that he's bringing out, these are lies, these are slanders, all of this. So, therefore, this is murder. This is affliction. Do you understand? Your words have power. And by speaking in such an ill way about your brothers, okay, you a liar, man. You a murderer like your father, the devil. That's why whenever you speak about an individual, man, you want to be careful what you say. All right? Especially if that brother is calling on Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Okay? And he's keeping the doctrine correctly and properly. So they have afflicted us, man. And they made no account of his labors. You making no account of the elders that labored before you? You making no account of all the fruit that have spanned from the elders that came? You making no account of the labors, man. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. This individual, Alazaze, is going to be left on the ground looking at missiles coming down while the prophets, the true men of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, go up into those chariots. You're going to be stuck because of your ongoing scoffing, your ongoing mocking, your ongoing knowledge of this truth. You possessing, a form of godliness, but not having the spirit. You're possessing this word, but being unrighteous. Okay? So, you knew better, but you never did better. That's the point being of this, man. All right? Let's read 2 again. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. Amazed at us going up into those chariots. Amazed at the spiritual powers. Amazed at brothers making it through, being scarcely saved. Amazed. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. And it's going to happen even before the nukes come, because they shall know eventually that a prophet was in their midst. The elect is going to be known in Jacob's trouble. Take that into account. That individuals are going to be doing certain miracles and, saving elect members, saving the 1/3. This is what the prophets are going to be doing. These type of things, man. The standard shall be lifted. You understand? So, with that being said, you're going to know who the elect is in Jacob's trouble. Just simply by who is all the women flocking to. Isaiah 4:1 is going to happen before the chariots come, my brother. You understand? And they're not going to flow to worldly men. They're going to flow to elect men. Therefore, you're going to know who the elect is. It's going to be major signs. Hey, this brother is an elect brother. This brother is an elect brother. Boom, boom, boom. You're seeing that right now, even through the individuals that are coming in this 100% doctrine. Okay? But we can't say for sure, but you're seeing characteristics showcased. All right, that fire that's showcased. You know, we're putting on as the elect, right? You got to put on as the elect before it's known. You understand? I got you out. 2nd Esdras 16:73 from the brother Kakuma, and it reads, "Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire." Exactly. Right? Let's go up a little bit and get some context to show everybody. Verse 70. "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi." So understanding this is that they're going to come in like a flood, as I was talking about Isaiah 59:19. Satan's going to send everything that he has. Robot dogs, drones, ICE, FEMA. You know, he's going to send it all. He's going to send the kitchen sink. All right? So that great insurrection shall come. "They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire." Okay? So that's what's going to take place, man. In that great time, that time of Jacob's trouble, that time of tribulation, you're going to know who the elect is. The Most High is going to reveal it. All right? Give me 1 second. I will be right back. All right, man. Let's get to the latter end of this lesson. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be too long. All right, I get that for you too. 1 Corinthians 2:16, and it reads, "For who hath known the mind of Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi, that he may instruct him, but we have the mind of Hamashiach." Okay, so that right there is being showcased right now by individuals that move like Yahawashi Hamashiach. Okay, you're moving in the correct way. You're moving in the proper way. You're being a servant. You're moving like your master. Okay? Hey, if an individual's not moving like that, then he doesn't have that mind. It ain't no, well, maybe. No, it ain't no maybes, man. It's clear cut. Hey, this brother going hard. This brother, you know, et cetera, et cetera. There ain't no maybes. So you got to trust and believe and have faith. All right? And continue going. Now, let's go back to Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, verse 4. "We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor." Such as this individual, once again, making all these videos, talking about elders, apostles, and bishops and stretching the narrative. All right? That's what you're doing. You're accounting the lives and the labors of the men of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi as madness. And you think that your ways are correct and proper. All right? Yeah, moving like Enoch. Okay, that's a good one, you know. You know, moving like Enoch, moving like Moses, you know, King David, etc. We have those stories for inspiration, for guidance, to set us on the right path. All right? So ultimately, we're trying to walk in the footsteps of Yahawashi because that's the ultimate master. That's our true one Lord, right? Lord goes into master. So that's our true master. Everybody was trying to move like him. You understand? That's our true, you know, king. That's the everlasting Father. That's the Prince of Peace. So all the prophets, all right, are back right now today. You know, majority of the prophets, unless they're in the spirit world. So they're what? They should be preaching. They will be preaching. Jeremiah's out here preaching. All right, Daniel's preaching. Ezra's is preaching. Okay, Nahum, Jonah, Joel, these individuals are preaching, man. Trust and believe that. They are out here preaching. And they most likely are in Great Millstone. Okay? So, with that being the case, Yahawashi is the way. We trying to get through. And we trying to, our big brother Yahawashi to let us in. Right? So, back to Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. And verse 4 again. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. And that's what the foolishness of preaching. So you think that our lives, they don't matter, that we go out every weekend and that has no point. But we're building up our treasures in heaven. What do you Christians think building up your treasures in heaven look like? What does that mean to you? All right? That's why we are saved by works and faith. Not just faith. It's not just grace. Yeah, we have grace, but we are saved by works and faith. So your deeds do matter. You're going to be judged based upon your deeds. So your deeds matter. You understand? So you Christians can't come with a false narrative, man. Verse 5. How is he numbered among the children of power, and his lot is among the saints? You're going to be in awe like, yo, how did this individual make it? All he did was go out and preach on the corner every weekend. All he did was talk about Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. He didn't start a mega church. He didn't give out book bags. You individuals are searching for a salvation the wrong way. That's not a commandment. It's no commandment that says to give out book bags and start a food drive and build up a mega church. No, man. That's why you really got to study and learn and understand instructions. Who is obedient? Who is disobedient? It's going to be all showcased. All right. Verse 5. How is he numbered among the children of power, and his lot is among the saints? Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. This individual is what? He's on the outside looking in. He's erred from the way of truth. The Most High is not shining on him no more. Yahawashi is not looking at him no more. Your time has come and gone, brother. You was found to be undeserving, unworthy. Now you come back like a bitter baby mama and you talking shit about those that fed you. You know, bitter baby mamas, they always talk shit about their husband. When your husband used to take care of you, all right, he used to buy you this, he used to take you places. He used to, make love to you, do all of this different type of stuff. You understand? But you got a bitter baby mama mentality. Well, now you coming back and you acting like he was never shit. Because that's your mentality now. When you want that life, you want to be with him. You don't want him to be with his new woman, but you want to be with him. This dude, Alazaze, he want to be with Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. You understand? But Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi don't want him no more. You're no longer desired, man. Okay? Because of your character, because of your actions, because of the way you move. And that goes the same for you scoffers and mockers, man. Hey, it's an individual earlier that came in here and he was talking about the chart. I didn't even pay attention to it. Because automatically I'm looking at that like that's a red flag. We not even talking about the chart. But you come in here off topic. So that's automatically showcasing that your spirit, you can't even control your spirit and rule over your spirit enough to actually stay on topic. These individuals show themselves to be unteachable. I'm not dealing with a woman that's unteachable. She's untrainable. I can't mold it to me. I'm not even going to take 10 seconds on that, man. I don't care how fuck she look. I don't care. You understand? We ain't lustful men. We actually holding ourselves accountable. We hold our families accountable. And we know that consequences in everything. It's consequences, whether good or bad, in dealing with certain women. It's consequences, whether good or bad, in dealing with brothers. You hang around this brother, he got a feisty spirit. Hey, he might get you in a fight that you ain't really want to be in. Like, what? Bro, this shit wasn't really important, but you got me fighting with you now. Like, nah, man. Okay? I got you, bro. Ecclesiasticus 7:26. And it reads, Hast thou a wife after thy mind? Forsake her not, but give not thyself over to a light woman. Yeah, a simple-minded woman. So, as it states, a bishop must be graven. Let's get that. Right? You must be graven. You must be what? Full of honor. You must be honored. And your woman must be the same. Okay? Your woman must be the same. That's in 1 Timothy 3. And let me make sure it's the right one. This a do. I don't think this the one that I really wanted though. But we'll start 1 Timothy 3:1. This is the true saying, if a man desire the office of a bishop, he desire for good work. And that's what this individual wants to be. All right. Individual also calling himself deacon, then you want that position. Okay. All these stupid titles that you individuals put on y'all names. You chief this, you priest that, you deacon this, you bishop this, you bishop that. All right. Man, these things are earned and given to men over time. You can't just call yourself an elder. Oh, yeah, I'm elder. What's the name? Yeah. You been in the truth 2 years. What you talking about? You elder what? Ain't no elder, bro. Oh, yeah, I'm bishop. How is you a bishop? I'm priest. You don't even keep the Sabbath days correct. And you a priest. Guys just be they be just saying shit to say shit. That's some worldly type stuff, man. You just be saying stuff to say stuff. All right? Verse 2, a bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach. You must embody all these characteristics. And don't get it twisted. When it says the husband of one wife, you can have multiple women, okay? But it's talking about for that time frame where the women were having multiple husbands. So that was the improper way of doing things. You can't have a woman that has multiple dudes. Okay? So your woman must be moving in a similar mindset with you in this truth as well. She's carrying herself the proper way. Therefore, she won't jump on the internet and run you down. So you got to be graven. You got to be honorable. And your woman has to be honorable. It's a whole lot of messiness going on with these individuals. They're very messy, full of drama, full of toxicity, full of bitterness. Verse 3, not given to wine. That does not mean that you can't drink. You can drink, but you can't be a drunkard. No striker, not greedy, a filthy lucre, but patient, not a brawler, not covetous. A bishop, you must be what, man? Of a higher standard. Okay? That's what you must be. Of a higher standard. My brother said he took a Nazarite vow. I mean, that's great. So that puts you in a certain position for, however long you want to keep the vow. But it's a certain standard that you are upholding. A bishop is going to uphold a higher standard than your average everyday Israelite. You understand? Because he's at a higher standard. And really, truthfully, that's going to be the standard that every man is going to hold in the kingdom. Every man is going to be a priest and a king. So every man of Israel is going to hold a high position. And then furthermore, as you go up the ranks from 2/3 to 1/3 to 144, the rank increases and more dominion and power increases. Where the 144,000, they'll have more land, all right, planets and things of that nature, than a 1/3 man or a 2/3 man. They'll have more wives. You understand? They'll have more children. Because they were the ones that stood stiffly and boldly more so, and these are the prophets. So they have a greater reward, a greater inheritance. But every man is going to be up on that standard of being a king and a priest. Okay? This is very important, verse 4, man. All right? And furthermore, go back to verse 3. Not a brawler, not covetous. Let's get that word covetous, man. Because this is what a lot of these individuals are, man. They love money. Not loving money, not avaricious. Avaricious. I want to get that just because. Let's get that. Web search. Avaricious. Avaricious is an adjective that describes someone having an extreme obsessive desire to acquire and hoard wealth or material possessions. Ain't your bitch ass the same one that talked about you was making $100K every month, $10K every week, some shit like that? You bragging about the money? You bragging about your money? The same thing that Deacon Hakkad did. He said, yeah, I make way more money than your family. What does that have to do with anything, brother? Okay, this is the thing you brothers got to understand, bro. You can have a good job and all that, and you could be new to the camp and making more than the camp leader or whatever. That doesn't fucking matter. Do you understand that money doesn't matter, bro? Okay? Money is simply a defense. Individuals get set up with good jobs and things of that nature. But this individual, the elders, they're what? They're woke up before you. So their position is higher than you. They have been woke up before you. And they've been put forth in your life to teach you and to guide you and to help you. So worldly status, the wisdom of the world, does not truly matter in this thing, man. You got to come up the correct and the proper way. So don't let your greed and your money and your carnal things that you have, your material things, blind you from this truth. That's all these individuals over here talk about. Gorilla Hebrew and Deacon Hakkad and Hassad. All they care about is carnal things, things of the world. That's why we got your ass on camera. You know, you talking about Drake's album changed everything for everybody. Do you know what Iceman did? Nigga, we don't give a fuck about Iceman, Kool-Aid Man, Strawberry Man. I don't give a fuck, bro. What about this truth? What about these scriptures? What about Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, man? Talking about some gay-ass Drake. Cause you a dick in the booty ass nigga. And it's on record. Your wife said, yeah, he like it that way. He like it like that. I was like, yo, this is kind of weird, but that's what she said. She judging your ass. She like, hey, he kind of strange. Cause you said, and I could go get the video. You said that it's not gay if a girl does it. Oh, man. Man, let me see if I still got that shit. I was watching it yesterday. A brother in the UK was going in on his goofy ass. You know? So, you trying to come back and replace Deacon Hakkad. You trying to step back into that position. Okay? But all the things that you did that was wicked, those things are not going to go away. You understand? Those things are never going to disappear, man. All right, right now, yeah, we get in the kingdom, okay. You know, stuff will be forgiven, but right now, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi expose you for exactly who you are. And that's sticking, buddy. That is sticking. Give me 1 second. I'm going to see if I can find this video. I think it's right here. Yep, it's my brother over here in the UK.
So, this is a woman, but they did.
I don't know exactly where it was.
There's a script. Because we don't teach anything that's not done dirty. That he wouldn't.
Like, what happened in that situation? They're separated.
Check this out.
Let's listen to this.
Some people would never have thought that you and Deacon Hakar would ever split up and separate. What brought about that separation? Because it was like y'all two was like Batman and Robin and shit, man. Like, what happened in that situation?
There is nobody in Deacon's life who he hasn't backstabbed and been out with. Not one person. His own brother, his own best friends, the people he grew up with. There's nobody he hasn't done it to. He just waited the longest to do it to. That's all that was.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you feel?
I just want to say this. I want to contextualize something.
Yeah, make sure.
When no other Israelites wanted him, I was the only one that took him in. The only one. Right? I'm talking about nobody wanted to deal with that man. I was the only one that said, yeah, he might have messed up and did something wrong, but hey, I ain't giving up on that brother. And that was 13 years ago. Right? So for him to even think in his mind, you know, after all the things that he did, you know, he created a business for himself called Sakari Varsity, would call me to get my understanding and breakdowns and charge people. He never chipped in a dime. I never saw a dime of that. He's been in Sakari all those years. It's been 7-8 years of him being in Sakari without contributing a solitary cent to the actual mission and organization.
You know, that ain't the video I wanted, but that's just the point, showing you how grimy these individuals are. You're charging people for lessons, all right? Now, like I said, they're toxic, they're corrupt, they're wicked. Y'all separating. Bro, y'all acting like a married couple that got divorced. Now y'all fighting and backstabbing each other. Okay? This is what's going on. You know? And it's all being showcased. I want to find the one where his wife is talking. But, let me see, man. This brother video is long. But it's not even needed. It's just the point that he said this stuff. And it's known about him.
Let's see. You getting...
Oh, well, it's not.
Oh, right here. Hey, that's the Lord. Why do Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi?
Check this out, anyway. He wanted you to pay him.
Yep. He wanted me to pay him. He bought the strap on. He bought the dildo. He went on Amazon. He bought all of it. It was like the conversation happened so fast, just like trying to make it sound like, you know, well, it's not gay if a girl doing it. I wouldn't feel like I was gay if he bought the dildo. He went on Amazon. He bought all of it. It was like the conversation happened so fast, just like trying to make it sound like, you know, well, it's not gay if a girl doing it. I wouldn't feel like I was gay if I let you do it. And I'm like, let's see if you would actually do it. He actually did.
What was that?
Yo! I'm sorry, man. Salaki, man. You got yo. That's these individuals, man. That's Romans 1. And what's that? Romans 1 and 26. Let's get that real quick, man. Because that's how they move. But you got some nerve to come on here trying to talk about our elders, bro. Okay? Romans 1 and 26. For this cause, matter of fact, let's go up, man. All right? Let's go up. Okay? Let's start at, yeah, right here, 22. Let's get this. Let me turn my brightness up. Y'all got to see this. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. You put yourself in a leadership position. You profess yourself to be wise. You got all the knowledge. You got more knowledge than the elders. That's how you came. All right? Y'all don't give double honors no more. Okay? That's the thing. They got butt hurt because they got kicked out. You know? And they went down and they spiraled into a road of chaos. And you're so far gone. You love Drake, right? Well, let me quote a Drake album. So far gone. That's what you are. You're so far gone, brother. You know? You're not coming back. You got views from the 6. 666. That's what you... All right, it's like it. That shit funny though. Verse 23. And change the glory of the uncorruptible power into an image made like to corruptible men, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. The things that you're worshiping now: money, hats, cars, women, pegs. Yo, this is crazy, man. I feel like Nas said, you talking about me, nigga? Not you. You talking about me? Nigga, you love my style. Oh, man. Verse 24. Wherefore power also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, their minds, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. Uncleanness. These are wicked ways. These are unprosperous ways because they're no longer reading the laws, commandments, and statutes. Joshua 1 and 8. They're not setting the law upon their mind. So therefore, their ways are not being made prosperous. Their ways of that of chaos and destruction and toxicity. This is why your women are exposing you and talking about you in these type of ways. Because you was a wicked man. Your woman was a wicked woman. Y'all came together. That's what's supposed to happen. All right? The same similarities attract. That's why we link and, rock with brothers that's in this truth. Okay? So y'all came together and y'all was wicked together. Of course, y'all going to separate because demons eventually going to get tired of playing with one another. And now y'all are doing the backstabbing. Y'all are doing the exposing each other. That's nothing but worldly type shit, bro. All right. Keeping it going. Verse 24. Wherefore power also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. Wherefore power also gave them up to 25. Who changed the truth of power into a lie, and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. You're obsessed with yourself. Going back to that word, avaricious. The one I just read. All right, where you're extremely obsessed with getting wealth, extremely obsessed with gaining money. This is why you're talking about Hakad never gave you a dime, and Sakar, dude, are y'all over there like extorting? You over there collecting money from your members like that? What's up with that? That's weird, man. Hey, true men of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, they're not doing that. All right? Now, yeah, you do tights. You give what you got. You give what you can. Yeah, that happens. Because that's a community fund. Anybody needs help, boom, boom, boom. So you give your tights, you give alms, you give charity. But it's nobody's sitting back forcing you to give money, man. We in captivity. All right? Verse 26, for this cause power gave them up unto vile affections. For even their women did change their natural use into that which is against nature, such as pegging you. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one towards another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves the recompense error which was met. So women began to mess with women, and men began to mess with men. And you see that right now flowing in the land of America, which also is known as spiritual Sodom. Okay? You know, and these individuals professing themselves to be godly are really DL on the low, man. You know, I don't have to play this video again, but that was his wife, his ex-wife talking about him. All right. So going back to Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, we're going to begin to wrap it up. This is Wisdom of Solomon, 5th chapter, verse 6 again. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness hath not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. So once again, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is no longer looking towards you. He's no longer seeking to deal with you. He's actually turned to be an enemy towards you because you showed yourself to be an enemy towards him. You don't want to repent and convert and analyze your ways that you're wrong. You don't want to listen to the messengers that he sent. So therefore, man, honestly, it's fuck you. All right? If I could put it any other type of way, that's how the Most High feels about these individuals. Because what? They wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness. You strive to do wickedness. You seek to do wickedness, man. You know, you seek wickedness out. To get on these podcasts, okay, to go to No Jumper and all these type of podcasts that these individuals are on and being associated with all these gangbangers and stuff, that's you putting in effort, time, money to be in this wicked environment. You know? That's what you're investing. You buy the truth, sell it not. You're buying into wickedness. That's what you're doing. So you wearied yourself in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts while there lay no way. But as for the way of Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi, we have not known it. You put this truth behind you. You don't know the way no more. What have pride profited us? Or what good have riches without vaunting brought us? All those things are passed away like a shadow, and a post that hasteneth by. Okay? And as a ship that passeth over the waves of the water, which when it is gone by, the trace thereof cannot be found, neither the pathway of the keel in the waves. This is what you're about to see with the truth. All right? It's going to disappear. You're not going to be able to find the trace because the men of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi are going to be plucked away from you. You know, the way of righteousness is not going to be known anymore. This is what you call the famine of the word, where the word is going to be took off this planet. All those things are passed away like a shadow, and as a post that hasteneth by, and as a ship that passeth over the waves of the water, which when it is gone, by the trace thereof cannot be found, neither the pathway of the keel in the waves. So you need to take heed right now and turn to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. We say it every lesson. The kingdom of heaven is near. Turn. Get right now. Or, as when a bird hath flown through the air, there is no token of her way to be found. But the light air being beaten with the stroke of her wings, and parted with the violent noise and motion of them, is passed through, and therein afterwards no sign where she went is to be found. That's how those chariots are going to appear, cause destruction, and then dip out without a trace. All right? And it's just going to be fire left here. It's just going to be burning. It's going to be nukes, you know, hitting this place. And we're going to be gone. Okay? All right? So, you know, I'll get one more. Even so, we, in like manner, as soon as we were born, began to draw to our end. Soon as you was born, a born sinner, born towards destruction, and had no sign of virtue to show, but were consumed in our own wickedness, predestined for death. You understand? Ultimately, this dude, Alizaze,
has no...
all right, he's predestined for death, man. You know? He's predestined for death. He sat here and made a whole compilation of narratives. All right? You know, trying to say that he caught the elders and some shit. Saying that we taught, that the elders taught not to take care of your kids and things of that nature. Taking stuff out of context. All right? Yeah, we said, yeah, things have been said like, fuck them kids. What does scripture say, bro? What does the scripture say? Forsake everything. Follow Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Does that mean you're supposed to not take care of it? No, that does not mean that. This is what you niggas do. Y'all wicked, man, in that type of way. Well, you know what we mean by the phrase and how we're saying it, but you take it and you spread it a whole entirely different narrative about it. Okay? That niggas is stupid, man. These dudes do not have common sense. That's why I stated they're distractions. They're looking for reactions, man, off their actions. That's all they are doing. They are queens. Once again, a public woman. They only here for attention. They are attention whores. Queens. All of Genesis, all of Sakari. All right? And majority of these other camps. They are queens. And that's not going to fly in the eyes of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Okay? So, hey, that's pretty much all I got right there, man. I'm going to wrap it up right there. Summarizing is be sincere and get this truth. Get the proper foundation. Get the correct way. Don't come seeking entertainment. Don't come seeking filthy lucre. Don't come because you think money can be made. Don't come, you know, don't come because you like how a brother teaches either. Yeah, you're going to gravitate to certain individuals, but ultimately it's the message that you're here for. All right? It's the message, man. You know? So we just here to get the word. We here to get these scriptures. We here to get this understanding. That's why I'm listening to individuals. We're not putting our trust in flesh, as the book of Jeremiah states, man. You know? I'll get that precept. That'll be the last precept of the lesson. This is Colossians 3:23-24. And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily, as to the Lord, and not unto men, knowing that of the Lord ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance, for ye serve Yahawashi HaMashiach. That's a beautiful one, bro. You know, the water, that's a beautiful one right there. All right? That's it, man. Don't do it for men. All right? But do it with it being instilled and cemented in your mind. You know? Which means that you mean it. You did it on purpose. These lessons are on purpose. When we say fuck Esau, we saying that on purpose, man. It ain't no mistake. And everybody that fuck with him, fuck you too. Everybody that's aligning to this beast system. Okay? Yeah, willingly. Perfect. You know, ain't nobody forcing us to preach. But it's a fire in us that pushes us to get up out there. That's in the book of Jeremiah as well, man. You know, and you want to keep that fire lit. To keep a fire lit, you got to what? You got to put fuel in it. You got to add firewood to the fire. And what is that? That's the lessons. That's us being watchmen, the report. All right? So we jump on things that's going on in the world and addressing things, regardless if it be in the nation of Israel, okay, which I'm talking about us, or if it be with these heathens. We're addressing and talking about all this type of stuff and letting you know the profane, all right, or the righteous, letting you know righteous from wickedness. All right, so hey, with that being said, man, facing the east, giving all praises, honor, and glory be to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone as always. And shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect. If it's any type of questions, you can ask them right now. All right. But if not, then I'm a Kwam Yasharahla and a Baba Bar. All right, I'm going to get up out of here. I'm going to get like 1 minute if it's anything. I'll get that for you too, Ak. Jeremiah 20, verse 9 from Kakuma. Then I said, I will not make mention of him nor speak any more in his name, but his word was in mine heart as a burning fire shut up in my bones, and I was weary with forbearing, and I could not stay. You know? So, man, Jeremiah had a time where he wanted to stop, but he couldn't. All right? He couldn't stop. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, that fire is there. That fire is in there. So, you know, I said, hey, Salakia, because I said nobody's forcing you to preach. I mean, really, it's kind of right, because nobody's forcing you, but it's no free will. So you are literally kind of getting forced. You got to do it. You know? That right there is just simply a characteristic that you may be of the elect. You understand? If you feel it on you and you got to do it. You can't stop. You know? I'm going to get this precept, man. And I don't see no questions. So after this precept, I'm up out of here. 1 Corinthians 9 and 16. And it reads, For though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of. For necessity is laid upon me. Yea, woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel. God is exactly, bro. That right there is we get it. That this place is going to be destroyed regardless. So I might as well preach. I might as well stand up and be bold as a lion, man. And bring out evidence upon this devil. It's going down regardless. I might as well be righteous. Right? So, hey, with that being said, keep the faith. Shalawam, shalawam.